Now, it's a common experience. You phone a helpline and find yourself speaking to people in a call centre, sometimes thousands of miles away, occasionally with accents that aren't always easy to understand. Now, a Californian company has developed technology that can change those accents in real time. The firm says the aim is to make workers sound more Western and reduce the abuse of staff. But some claim it risks perpetuating biases rather than fighting them. You're about to hear two voices. The first is a natural one, and the second after it's been through this voice-altering software. Have a listen.
Hi, this is Alex from the customer service aid. How are you today? Great to hear.
Hi, this is Alex from the customer service aid. How are you today? Great to hear.
Well, earlier on I spoke to Winifred Poster, a sociologist from the University of Washington in St. Louis. She's done extensive research on the experience of call centre workers. I got her reaction.
I think there are many problems with this kind of technology that range from lesser to greater harm. One of the problems is that it doesn't solve the main problems of customer service, which is that when a customer calls a company, they have a problem. So regardless of what accent is being communicated to them, they may still be angry that their computer doesn't work or that they were unable to get a refund for a purchase, etc. Another problem is that it's unfair to the worker, especially in the global south, when they have to engage in these kinds of deceptive practices as a regular part of the job. It follows a range of practices that I've documented in my research called about national identity management, in which workers, as a routine for their interactions, have to change their name, they have to speak in a different type of accent, they have to adopt different conversational styles, and sometimes explicitly lie about where they are. This creates a range of different emotional and psychic, mental, practical problems for workers, and they often don't end up staying in the job for very long, maybe a matter of months, because in part because of these kinds of practices. The
company, if I can just come in there, the company says 4 of its founders are immigrants, 90% of its workforce are immigrants. It says this is just about really blurring the lines and making things easier, really, when people have these interactions with call centres. Isn't it just as simple as that?
It is true that many workers may say that this kind of leveling of the accent may make their job easier in the short term. But as I said, it creates other problems, which is that, for instance, it increases the deception that a customer has to experience when they are calling a company. And I'm sure that, many of us have had the experience of doing various technologically mediated interactions where we don't know whether the person on the other end of the line is actually a human or not. And I don't think that customers like to be deceived. In my experience when I was doing research inside call centers, customers actually often really enjoy the opportunity to be able to ask where the worker is and then learn about them and their culture. It is a moment, it's an opportunity for cross-cultural learning.
Well, it's interesting you mention that, because we heard that example before, and I'm sure the company wants to constantly improve, but it did sound a little bit robotic, and I think most people would rather talk to a person than a robotic voice. Isn't this just going to make things worse?
It seems like it is, in my mind, to me. And also, it has the added problem of reinforcing stereotypes and biases about accents and language. And it privileges whiteness in society in general. It feeds into that rather than helping to break that down and, create a more empathetic, knowledgeable world.